Hi there! If you're here, you have probably noticed that the color on your screen don't always match the color that come out in print. And this one, if you are an artist or a surface pattern designer, can be very frustrating. Especially when you spend hours perfecting your work. This is something that you're like, oh my gosh, how this is possible? It's like a never-ending route that might overwhelm you, but today I'm here to tell you and to remind you again, don't let overwhelm steal your joy. And I'm going to show you what I personally do on this matter. First of all, allow me to say that understanding the difference between RGB and CMYK mode can help you bridge this gap. Also to define the best strategy that you want to follow both digitally and for the printed art that maybe you will sell on print-on-demand website. So just a super fast overview. I just Google honestly the and by the way, this one is a Pepino. One is in RGB mode and the other one is in CMYK. Guess which one is and which one is not. And I will tell you soon. I mean, I think actually you can read it for the title. This one is more dull, let's say, and this one is more vivid and is RGB. And also, I just wanted to underline one point. Even this representation is still done on a screen. I'm visualizing on my screen, you are visualizing your own screen. So basically, we are still using for both of the representation the RGB mode. RGB, that stands, let me show you with this one. This one is like a representation to give an idea of what the result could be in the two profile, but the main issue is that the physicality, is it physicality a word, that stands behind the two mode is defining the issue, the topic, the problem itself. So RGB, this one, is a color mode that is used mainly for digital screen. So when you are drawing on your iPad, this is the way how you are perceiving, I mean, how the color will be represented to be perceived by your eyes. That, by the way, has even much more accuracy than any color profile. So when you are designing on a computer, a tablet, or a smartphone, you are working in RGB. This model works by adding light to create color. So if you see here, it's like you're starting from green, red, and blue, and by adding them to each other, like overlapping them, it's like you are creating new color, and the summa of this adding is white. So it's like literally adding light to create color, and this is why the color can appear so bright and vibrant in your screen. The other color profile, CMYK, is the color mode that is used in printing. I don't know if you see my finger, but I took some old cartridge from my printer, and if you see them exactly, they will have usually one for color that will have the three color the cyan, magenta, and yellow, and there is another one that is just black. So unlike RGB, CMYK works by subtracting light. What does it mean? It means that it absorbs certain wavelength and reflect others. So it's basically, if you imagine it, I mean, imagine your printer. It's like you have the page, the white page, and then the printer will add a layer with one of these four options. And so basically, when you add more of this color, the end, instead of being white, will be black. So the subtracting process of a printer result in a more limited color range, which is why your printed color might look different from what you see on your screen. Plus, and not least, I want also to consider the fact that let's say that I'm uploading my design, and I will show you, I mean I have to find the original, but let's say here I have my design printed on a mug, and then I have the same exactly design printed on a t-shirt. Again, you will see that they might be slightly different. In general, they will be darker. Because it really depends on the support where they are printed. So like paper or ceramic or fabric might react differently, and definitely will also depend on the company that is printing and their machine, and the specific on the process, how they are handling the printing. So just to go faster on my point is that there are two physical aspects on the two modes that determine different result, and there are many variables involved in each time when we print something. So said so, you might know that some company prefer to have a file as a CMYK, and other company are accepting also RGB. The point is that all of the company will print in CMYK, but they will accept RGB because they will handling themselves the process to, let's say, translate the file according to their printing process. So said so, again, my suggestion, or at least what I do, is this. Since I know that I don't have full control on the printing process, and so the best suggestion in my point of view is always to test your own design on the product that you would like, that you wish to implement and make available for your client. I will continue to design in standard RGB. The reason is, first of all, I wanted to enjoy my process of designing, so the fact that this one will allow more colors and is more bright and is more on my on the art that I like to do is enough for me to say, since I cannot control the final result in CMYK, I will continue to draw in RGB mode. Second, I will be aware of the fact that still something might be different when I decide to print something on an object. And this means that especially the color that will be influenced by the difference, the one that will risk to be very, very different in let's say in a real object, are the bright colors and or the neon color. So said so, if I wanted to do a design, okay, this is not the case, but let's say if I wanted to do a design that has many bright color, especially let's say the one that I think are where the biggest issue for me were the yellow. Yellow for me was kind of disappointing the first time that I started to print on items my design. So what I would do now is, if I'm unsure of the final result, or I want to double check that a slight change in color will not be a problem when I wanted to predict the final output, I will do a preview of that file in CMYK. And I'm going to formalize all of this information in a blog post where I also link all the videos and resources, including Katie Stern, about the theory behind this. But what I wanted to underline here is that I don't want this issue to overwhelm me when I'm creating. So it's like my due diligence is, I know that when I'm creating something with bright color, especially neon or bright yellow or bright light green, this might look super different in CMYK. So before submitting my RGB file, and will still be RGB, the one that I'm submitting, I will try to check a preview of what this one could be. So, for example, in the case also you see this one is Pepino on Pepino. The difference is still there. I mean, let me open it. You see that the color here is not exactly what I predict on my RGB original file. That is this one. Oop. That is, excuse me, is much more brighter, and I mean this one is the version that I wanted, right? But still, I don't think that the CMYK will be so terrible, let's say in a mug. It's still fine, but I'm aware of. So now is okay, but how can I do this preview in CMYK to just get an idea of how it's going on? And by the way, if the company is suggesting you to deliver a CMYK, of course, follow their specification. They know how their machine is working, so you wanted to follow their specification. But in this case, my suggestion is, instead of maybe saving the file as a JPEG or PNG that is already like a compression mode, try to save it with Photoshop extension. So this one should be also more accurate in on the fact that you are saving in CMYK mode. And now I will show you how I would preview this design of Pepino in CMYK in Procreate, and I will also show you how you could change the color mode profile on in Illustrator. I'm not an expert on this one, but I will show you how to do it. And but what is more important, I wanted to show you how usually I use Photoshop to get an idea when I'm really confused about how the color palette that I choose might end up resulting with different printer or different company on different support. And as a final, before I move the camera to go and show you the demonstration, I just want to tell you this one. And then what if the result in say CMYK is terrible? What am I doing? The result is that I could first decided that I don't want to print it in that specific object. Let's say that if I would think that this color doesn't satisfy me, or for example, you see this version on the mug here is like a little bit more reddish also, I think, and intense, while this one is more on the brown side. So it's like, I could say like I still like it, or I could say, okay, there is no way, maybe I should try with another company, or I should just say, okay, this design is not in these colorways is not feasible for me to represent my art on a mug. Third option, experiment with colors with different color palettes. So you could even decide to build your own version in CMYK of your color palette, or experiment with other. So I mean, it's not that there is a fixed recipe that you should check, but I'm really believing that once you know more about the topic, you can always decide what is the strategy, what is the workflow that works the best for you. And said so, actually I think that I will start, because I'm already on the computer, to show you how you could change color profile on Illustrator first. So let me just take Illustrator here and show you where is the menu that you have to follow. It seems kind of straightforward to find it. It's like you go in File and then Document Color Mode, and now this one is a RGB color. You can just poof, select CMYK here. Honestly, I don't find it very representative for me to see the different result that I could get. So my suggestion would be, no matter in which software you are preparing your design, you can always go in Photoshop. Let me show you. with your RGB file, and then you could go in view, proof setup, and then here you can check the different preview. So you're not changing the profile of the file, but you can have a preview how different it could look. So for example, let's say that I choose working in CMYK, and I don't know if you noticed, but it did change. Let me zoom it, maybe you can see it better. Again, maybe take as a reference this line here. That is the one that is more visible on this specific design. So let me do it again. Proof setup. Now let's go back to monitor RGB. Can you see the difference? I don't know if you can see the difference. That will be tough, especially with the video. So let's try again. Proof setup here. It's like it's getting a little bit okay, let me do like this. I will just close Photoshop and restart it. I will take away Illustrator and go back on Photoshop. But the best part comes on Procreate. So this one is Photoshop. Let's I will copy here my RGB file. Here we are. And then I want to go on the preview and oops, this one was already the preview. So this one is the RGB. Or for example, I can put working on yellow plate. I mean, you are really like seeing the different version. I mean, just experiment and try. So this one is in CMYK, and then let's say RGB. Oh, I know what is the issue. Okay, sorry, let me just try to do something like this. And actually this case is absolutely proving that there are many components to take in account. It's like okay, yes, so while I was trying to demonstrate it to you on my second monitor, I was actually thinking, I don't know, is Photoshop not working? Because I was not able to see the difference between the version in CMYK and RGB. And I knew that it was visible when I imported the example to record this video for you. The main reason is that my second monitor is super bright. It's much more brighter than the one that I use to work on Photoshop usually. I usually work on my screen 1, and in screen 2 I use it to record and to, let's say, to project the slide and so on. So my point is that, again, since the monitor are using the RGB mode, even the fact that Photoshop can allow us to, let's say, try to visualize what the result will be different in CMYK, my monitor, that one specifically didn't have the sensibility to still show me this difference. So I was thinking like Photoshop was not working. Photoshop is working. It's just also really a matter of the monitor that we're using when we are working. So this one, in my opinion, still prove my theory that is really tough to still be 100% about the result in CMYK when we are still working on a preview that will be used by us through a monitor that definitely will use a RGB. Second, I don't know how is the calibration of the company that is going to print my item. So in my opinion, the best thing I can do is to trust the fact that they are a professional and they wanted to provide us the best result, taking in consideration that sometimes you still want to double check. For example, I will not use names here, but once I print out the same design like 2 months apart. Same design, same item, was a mug, same company. So while the company maybe can also use a different supplier, I don't know, it's a POD platform, so maybe one time was print I don't know, in Germany, and the other time was print in UK, I don't know. This one is not the point, but the main reason is that I use the same design and the result was different. The second time the result was really dull. So might be that that company had an issue that specific day. My point is that I documented, so I contacted the provider for me and to tell them like, hey, I'm sorry, but I think that there was an issue with the printing process of this order, and I'm also pretty sure that this one happened because I already ordered this item before and it looked like this, and now look like that. So again, another suggestion that I will definitely recommend is try as much as possible to test your products, the design, your design in the different products that you want to make available. This one will really allow you to control better the result, and also you will have, let's say, not just mock-up to show your beautiful pieces, but you will have also, you can do real photos. So try to see this one as an investment, not just in terms of quality, but also, let's say, marketing, because it's nice that you will have a real product with you to show. Well, said so, now let's pass to the part that I think will benefit many of you that are Procreate artists. So let me stop this camera because I will turn on that one, so I will see you on my iPad just in a few seconds. So here we are in Procreate, and again I just add here the version again in RGB mode and CMYK from Google. And let me show you, and I hope that you will be able to see also from the camera, the fact that this one are in 2 different color profile. As you might see, this one is more bright and light, this one is in RGB color mode, and this one is in CMYK. It's more dull, you can see the difference, especially on the part that are supposed to be brighter. So this one is also something that I want to tell you. If you use, let's say, different layer when you are working in different, let's say, opacity or mode in Procreate when you're working, like this one, this might be an issue when you translate on CMYK for a product, but again, it's not such a dramatic thing. Also, let me tell you this one. In Procreate, officially, you cannot change the color profile mode. The color profile mode is chosen at the moment where you open a Canva. And for example, once you put the dimension here you will go in color profile, and you can select if you want to go in CMYK or RGB. Honestly, as a suggestion, I will keep the standard for both of them. I mean, if the company will specify something, okay, go here and try to search if you can find it here. Otherwise, just go for the generic. I think you will be fine. And then, said so, let me show you the fact, that the other thing is that you can see also in your template which mode it was by here. Like this one is in RGB, but for example the last one that I created was CMYK because I was testing this example. So again, you have to choose the color mode when you start. And for example, if you are in Procreate following tutorial and you're like, how for example my teacher tutorial looks so bright and mine looks so dull, most probably because your color profile is in CMYK, because maybe you open one document in CMYK and then by default you are continuing that color mode. So one thing you could do is go here on the wrench, select Canva information, and check if the color profile was set for CMYK, CMYK or RGB. So this one is important. Then set so. You cannot change something that is in RGB, a file in RGB, and transform it in CMYK. And so how did I make this too? Like how it's possible? There is a trick that I use that is like okay, not so scientifically maybe professional, but works fine for me to get an idea of how the final result could be in CMYK. So what I do is I will go first on my original design, let's say like in this case in RGB, and then I will simply do 3 swipe down and copy all. After I copy all, I will open here a new document with the same size. So in this case it's 3000 by 3000. Okay, I mean you can also open a small, okay, for example, let's say that I wanted to do 1000 by 1000, but let's say I will try to go for the same or keep the same proportion, and then I will go in color profile and select CMYK, and then I will create it. Then 3 finger down and paste. If you see, my original color is already duller because I'm already in a CMYK profile. At the end of this video maybe I will be able to say it properly. Well, that's all. That's all. Of course, there are many things that you can do, like now you don't have all the layer, so it's like a flat image, but I think it's enough for me to get an idea of the final result. Because to summarize one more time, at the end, once I see that this image for me will be fine on a Mac, I'm like, okay, the worst case scenario will be something like this. Well, I will still deliver or upload on a print-on-demand website the RGB profile. And yep, that's all. I hope that this video was useful. Please let me know in the comment if it was or if you have other doubts. And yeah, if you like this kind of video, also maybe give me a like or subscribe to my channel so I know if it makes sense to continue also to release this kind of tutorial. If we haven't met before, I will put all my links below. I would love also to see what you're going to create or how you're going to experiment, so feel free to tag me. And yep, my name is Madda, and I'm a multi-passionate and multi-accent artist that really loves to spread idea and solution to further not just productivity but also unhappy creativity. So stay happily creative, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.